there's a new platform that's being marketed as the new saving grace. That's going to be the way that fans directly support artists and give them money.
So he is very upset that there are new platforms that are who wants to give independent artists money.
It's most likely BS, and here's why.
He thinks that actually being an entrepreneur and a responsible adult is BS.
Go to the whiteboard to check this out. So what usually happens is some artists get together and go, hey, we need to find out a way to get fans to be able to directly support us.
So he thinks that artists having the entrepreneur mindset of having fans going directly to artists is BS. That's what he thinks. You know, any functional adult who is an entrepreneur knows that if there's always a middleman taking um more money and then you're receiving fractions of a dollar without even knowing who your fans are isn't a sustainable business.
We're going to create this little app, right? It's going to be called Tipify, or it's going to be called Bandcamp, or it's going to be called something, right?
Look, I mean, he it doesn't even matter to him what the new quote unquote app is. It could be something that solidifies Bandcamp. It could be something, a brand new app. He calls it Tipify. It could be anything. He's like, look, if you're trying to have the fans come directly to you, to him is BS. And mind you, I don't know him. And I'm not going to say his name because this is not a haha got you moment to expose him, quote unquote, but it is just a reality check that there are music marketers out there who are telling artists, giving artists advice that, hey, I have your best interests at heart. And by you wanting the fans to come directly to you is to him is a problem. And then these new apps, he calls it, who are basically making it easier for artists to do that. He has a problem. He has a problem with that, and he calls it BS.
What's happening though is a bunch of artists are like, yes, this is a great idea. So what do? They all start going into the app, right? A bunch of artists start flooding into the app because this is apparently going to be the new thing that fans are going to come to help support artists. And so a bunch of artists get their accounts. You got this list of artists who are on this new platform.
So he's saying that if there's actually an app or a platform that artists was basically believed in and went over to the app to use their technology to um, have a fan CRM and basically know who their fans are. That's where what he says. He's putting it as this is a problem.
But do you see the problem?
Look, I look. I didn't know he was going to say that. And he's like, look, do you see the problem? I mean, the problem is obviously the problem is obviously the fact that he wants artists to continue to slave. He doesn't want functional adults who are entrepreneurs to actually make money doing what they love. He wants slaves because he's like, look, and this is coming up. This is why I'm saying this. He's like, artists who are trying to find different solutions to their own specific problem is the problem. That's what he's saying.
Already? Where are these people going? Well, there's an app over here that people are used to consuming music through, right? called Spotify. And so you know what happens? They're still going over here, right? And you got a bunch of artists on this platform like, hey, come over to me.
Okay, so he's saying that the problem of artists going to new platforms because they are solving some solutions for them. The problem is that the fans aren't coming to the new platforms as well. They're staying with Spotify. So he's like, look, artists, I know that you're slaves. I know that you're making fractions of a penny. I know you're not making any money, but you're working hard and you're putting up the money up front to put the music on Spotify. But he's like, there's nothing you can do because the quote unquote fans are over there. First of all, any functional adult knows that if they don't see data behind a fan, it could be a bot. It could be a bot. And there are already, um, you know, newsworthy articles out there talking about the bots that are flooded on Spotify. Now, I've also seen um I've also seen things that's on the internet that says, Spotify is trying to do their best to eliminate the bots that are on their platform. But the truth is that allegedly these fans aren't coming over to the new platform. That could be that they're not fans, they're bots, allegedly. So, of course, if you have 30 listeners, not fans, 30 listeners listening to your single, and then you put your single on a platform like Bandcamp, like Even, like New Fans, and you're wondering why the 30 people who listened to your last single aren't coming over to a new app or a new platform and listening to your single, it's because those listeners might not be real people, allegedly. There might be bots. Because if you had the names of those 30 listeners, their phone number, their email address, if you had that, then you could possibly go to not possibly, you could go to any platform. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Spotify. It could be Apple Music. It could be Even. It could be Bandcamp. It could be New Fans. It doesn't matter what platform you go to. The fans are following you because you have their data. So you can contact your fans directly and say, look, I'm on this platform. I'm on that platform. But because you don't have your fans' data and Spotify locks them up and don't share them with you, he's saying that the solution to that is to stay on Daddy Spotify's app because that's where your fans are. That's what he's saying. But you being a responsible adult who is an aspiring entrepreneur, you know that if you can't extract the data from the fans that you have on Spotify, you have no, you can't draw up any conclusion that those are real fans. It's not rocket science. You need to know who your fans are to have a successful business. Staying on Spotify and that's it is a problem waiting to happen, because God forbid your music gets kicked off of Spotify. God forbid the bots that are flooding your listens allegedly cause you to lose your account. God forbid you go to another platform to actually make dollars and money and not fractions of a penny, and then not able to do that because you're depending on a platform that's not set up for entrepreneurs. Spotify is not set up for independent artists. It's set up for labels, because I'm pretty sure the labels are getting the data. If they have invested money in Spotify, and they have contracts in place for Spotify to play these songs, and I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not a lawyer. It's not legal advice. But I'm pretty sure that allegedly they're getting some type of data, right? But the independent artists, they're not getting anything. They're just praying and wishing to the Spotify gods that their song gets noticed and it's not a bot. And he's saying that artists taking control of their business and going to platforms that honors who they are as entrepreneurs, he's saying that's the problem. He's like, look, I know you're a slave at Spotify, allegedly. Why not just stay a slave? Why do extra work actually trying to build a fan base? That's what he's saying. Why would you want to do something like that? That's hard. But if you be good and make fractions of a penny and take the easy route, then maybe Daddy Spotify would throw you a bone.
But here's what happens. Maybe one.
Look at he's he, and he's like, look, maybe one fan from Spotify is going to go to a new platform that you're on to actually make money. And you know what? If it's just one fan and not three, then honestly, that's fine. Because the other two fans, you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're a real person. Allegedly, it could be a bot. So the two bots, yes, they can stay at Spotify, and your one true fan, yes, move them over. And don't be mad about that. Because and I was talking to somebody about this. He's like, "Oh, you need 50,000 and uh, all these people, all these fans, and no, to get to 50,000 like you want, you have to start with one fan, then two fan, then three fan. It's math. You can't start from one and go to a million. That's not happening. In order to get to a million, you have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and keep counting. No, you're not going to get magical results. A bunch of bots is not going to flood the new platform and give you a million fans. And skip 1, 2, and 10, and 100, and 1,000, and just go straight to a million. No, the new platforms, legitimate platforms, aren't doing that. Your numbers should count just like math and go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and so on and so forth. That's what math is. And he's like, look, shouldn't you be afraid that the three quote unquote fans that you have on Spotify stays on Spotify and only one goes to the new platform? If one goes to the new platform, that's amazing. Because that tells me that I only had one true fan. The other two fans might not have even been real people, allegedly. May have been bots. May have been just casual listeners, just, heard my song for, a certain amount of seconds to count as a listener and then scrolled off. You really don't know.
Heads over here, okay? But the rest of them stay over here. So
good. Yes, keep those bots, allegedly, over there. Absolutely keep them over there. And artists, don't be afraid of that. And somebody fear mongering you into being a slave and working for fractions of a penny and say that you better kneel down and pat yourself on the head and pat yourself on the back for the hard work that you're making so little money for all of your time, your heart, the investments that you made to making the music. And he's saying, look, what if you go to a new platform and only one fan comes? Maybe you only have one fan. Don't look at the allegedly inflated bot numbers on your Spotify accounts. Because at this point, artists are scared to even put their music on playlists. I remember when playlists were a thing and artists were trying to get music on playlists. Now they're afraid of putting their music on playlists because of the flooded bots that might be on a user's playlist, and you don't know. And honestly, even if you say I don't want to be on any playlist at all, I just want to make my music and have it just be naturally discovered, but not through a playlist. Anybody could put your music on a playlist flooded with bots. Anybody. And then now your music gets taken down and now you lose out on money. This is not sustainable. Yes, there needs to be a platform, new fans, that helps artists solve this problem. And honestly, there are many platforms that do it. And it's up to artists to do the research and figure out which platform is best for them. Who has their best interest at heart? Who? But to just be afraid and say, you know what? Hey, I'll just be a slave. It's fine. That's ridiculous. You're artists. He thinks artists are dumb. That's what he thinks, and they're not. And they're getting smarter with their entrepreneurial skills, and they get smarter with their money management, and they're seeing money leaving their bank account, but they don't see money coming in, and they're on Spotify. So this whole fear mongering lies saying, oh my God, what if there's no fans that come with you? What if there's one fan that comes with you? Then perfect. If you have to start from zero and build your fan base up, then do it. Don't let people make you afraid of doing the hard work or doing the work required as an entrepreneur. Nobody's going to hold your hand. Everybody knows that. I'm an entrepreneur and nobody's holding my hand.
So here's the issue that happens with these platforms. You have a bunch of artists who get upset about the state of the world. And then you have like product engineers that go create a product for musicians.
He's upset that there are platforms like New Fans who are creating products, quote unquote, that's his words, for musicians. Yes, Yes, I've kept the artist in mind, but I've not only kept the artist in mind, I've kept their business in mind. I want them to be able to make a business using new fans. That means making money and fulfillment. So not only just collecting the money and getting having the data, but also thinking about fulfillment. The other end. That's what the music distributors and Spotify does for artists. They handle the fulfillment part. So not only could they build their fan base and through Stripe get the money sent directly to them, they can also have their fans listen to the music right on the platform. And of course, I have the NFC album that artists could sell to their fans, which is new and unique, where the fans will get this, tap the back of their phones, and be able to listen to the artist's music, and the artist controls who listens to their music. They don't have to worry about their music getting taken down because of bots. Unless there's a stream of bots using real dollars to pay for the music, where's their art? Then they know that the people, the supporters who are paying for the music are real fans. They're real people. And that's really the bottom line. The fact that he's upset and calls artists wanting to be entrepreneurs a problem is ridiculous. Because the only two choices that independent artists have is continuing to be a slave and not making what they're worth and spending money making music, but having none of the sustainable steps to actually make the money back. That's career and business aside. It's bad. It's bad. No business could sustain themselves without knowing who their customers are. Not one. And maybe they can and make a nice run for a little while, even for a few years, but eventually, the more you know, the less you have to market.
That's allegedly going to solve the problem of how fans can have this direct pipeline.
He's like, oh, these new platforms is trying to solve the problem. And he's upset, even calling it BS. It's not BS, sir. It's real life. And why do you care so much that artists are trying to make money? Why does that concern you to the point where you calling it BS and making a full 3-minute video on, why artists are tired of slaving for platforms who wants to pay them fractions of a penny? Why does that hurt you so much?
To support you, and they create an interface, some sort of app that actually does that. But here's the problem.
He's like, well, yes, the app actually does help you build your fan base and help you make money and provides a CRM. You do know who your fans are. But here's the problem. Okay, what's the problem of what's the problem of independent artists becoming entrepreneurs? What is the problem?
This is useless without these people.
Okay, so without the bots coming allegedly to follow you from Daddy Spotify to a new platform, without the bots being there, the app is useless. Oh no. It's not useless, sir. Let let the alleged bots and casual fans who want free music stay on Spotify. Yes, they shouldn't follow the artists. Absolutely not. Artists deserve fans who wants to spend money, who wants to support them. There are different types of fans, sir. There are fans who are freeloaders who just want free stuff. There are fans who are true fans who wants to spend their money to support you because it's a it's almost like a bartering system. The artists aren't begging for money. They're offering a product or service for money. And it's the energy exchange. If if I spend my heart and soul making this music and I sell it and you buy it with energy, the money as energy, you're saying this is worth the money that you're asking for. It's an energy exchange. Like, I think he agrees with the Spotify CEO that music is free. I think this is why he's making these assumptions. Music isn't free. It costs money to make music, whether you're buying the beat, even if you make the beat, you bought the software, you bought the equipment to make the beat. You bought studio time. Even if you didn't buy studio time, you bought the equipment for the studio. You bought the microphone. You bought the audio interface. You bought the mic stand. You have Pro Tools. You have the software to record the music, to mix it down. You pay the engineer, or you pay for a course to learn how to engineer. So now you're engineering yourself. Like, you're spending money constantly because you're a business. And then he's saying that the problem is you're actually trying to make the money back. That's the issue. That's what he's saying. And it's not an issue because any functional adult who wants to be an entrepreneur knows that to run a business, you can't be in negative for years and years to come. Eventually, you're going to have to start making money and you have to start making the right moves and getting the right systems in place to do that. And just praying to the Spotify gods and praying that the people who are adding your music on their playlist is not filling it with bots. That's not a marketing strategy. That's not a business strategy. It's obvious that independent artists being entrepreneurs offends him because he don't think that it's worth actually building from scratch. He thinks it's not worth, and some of these artists, not all, some artists actually have built some type of um something on Spotify. I'll just say something. Some type of momentum. That's all I want to say. Some type of momentum on Spotify. But a lot of the artists, they're starting from scratch anyway. They got 100 monthly listeners. They don't know who those 100 monthly listeners are. If they come out with a new album, they can't reach out to them. I mean, Ryan Leslie already talked about this. Obviously, he doesn't know who Ryan Leslie is. He needs to look Ryan Leslie up and study him because he already solved this problem a decade ago. I don't know why this is new to this particular person. This is not new. Any functional human being who wants to be an entrepreneur is going to know want to know who their fans are. Spotify doesn't offer that service. When Spotify starts offering that to artists, then we can talk. Then, you know, that's a different solution. But that's not reality right now. And then what do you say to those artists who had their music taken down with no plan B? They didn't build their music off, they didn't build their business off of Spotify, because there's a couple of people who are building their brand off of Spotify and also putting their music on Spotify. Therefore, if God forbid their music gets taken down because some person put their music on their botted playlist and their music get taken down, it's not their fault. All their efforts go to waste, and then they have to start from zero anyway. So it's a smart move to either have both platforms in play, or with different strategies for each platform, or moving your business to a platform that you can build, even if you have to start from scratch, even if you have to start from zero, which most artists, they're pretty much not start from zero, because if you've been posting on social media, like if you're using the same marketing tactics, that's not a playlist, to bring traffic to your music on Spotify, then you can use that same strategy and just offer where your music is. Offer a different link. It's, I mean, he's saying it like it's rocket science, and artists are capable of being entrepreneurs. And that is incorrect, sir.
Without fans inside here to tip the artist or whatever the mechanism is, this becomes useless. And
It's not useless, because when you build a business, especially if you're starting from scratch, you're not going to make money right away. You have to work to build it from scratch. He thinks that when you build a house, the house is already supposed to be built. You're supposed to just walk up to the land and then see a house. That's not how entrepreneurship works. You start with the foundation, then you work your way up, and then eventually you there's a house. House comes after the work is done. That's it. That's building a business. He's saying that the problem is the artist wants to build a business and it doesn't want to be a slave and leech off of platforms that want to pay them a fraction of a penny. Not even a penny. A penny. They said a penny is too good for you. This is his solution. His solution is for the artist to slave and not want any better. And honestly, I'm trying not to get emotional because that is really sad. It really is, because artists deserve so much more, and everybody's saying music is in shambles, and where are the rappers, where's the R&B, where's the pop? Like, people can only go for so long and so much by not making any money. Eventually, some of those artists who have dreams and talent to be artists, they quit. They stop doing it because they're not making money. They pick up another job. They pick up another part-time job. Picking up a part-time job is more lucrative for them than actually being a slave. And they look at the two choices and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll just pick up some more hours at work. I'll just work overtime. I'll just get a part time job, because everybody's telling me that making music isn't any money. I'm not making any money, and I might as well quit. And that's what's happening. And I'm saying artists don't quit and start thinking of an entrepreneurial mindset and let's build from scratch together. Let's build this. And the new platforms, they see the problem and they're not greedy like you, seeing the problem and saying, you know what? Those artists deserve to be slaves. That's sad because that's not true. He's like, oh, you think it'd be beyond being a slave? How dare you? This dude is whack. And not him. I'm sorry. I don't want to attack him as a person, but this mentality is whack. I don't know him, so I'm not trying to attack him as a person, but this ideology that artists shouldn't want more because they're independent is just wrong. Like they're trying to rewind the tape to when you know artists get bent over by labels and now streaming platforms, and they just take it and get nothing out of it, and that's the norm. And the new platforms, hopefully, and what I'm saying is that that normal is not normal anymore. We're done with that. Now we're taking responsibility for our lives. We're responsible adults and we're going to be entrepreneurs. Period. And he's trying to fearmonger you to say, well, even if there are alleged bots over at Spotify, even if they can take your music down for being in a playlist you didn't approve, even if you're not making actual dollars but fraction of a penny, you should be happy and grateful for just being over there where there might be a fan base.
And this is why most of these new products that you see that are for artists of like, hey, we've created a new platform where fans can tip you and give you money directly. It usually never works because
He's like, it's not working because the bots, alleged bots, can't follow you from Spotify to the new platform. That's why it's not working. Look.
Because maybe not even 1/3, like one little micro fan. You get one little.
He calls it a micro fan. It's not a micro fan if he or she leaves a platform and follows you, independent artist. It's not a micro fan. It's a true fan. It's a real fan. It's a fan that you can extract data from, name, phone number, email, and solidify that that is the actual person.
Micro fan who's like, oh, come.
But he calls real people micro fans. If they're real and you can actually, touch them and, you know, and look at them, then it's micro for him.
Come over here and I'll support the artists. I'll give them a tip. And then you have 1,000 plus artists, or excuse me, fans of artists who are going right here and they are not going anywhere. So it doesn't matter what new.
Yes. What he's leaving out is that those quote unquote fans who are sticking with Spotify, those aren't fans who stick with only Spotify and don't want to go anywhere else. Those aren't fans who's gonna pay $100 for your hoodie and gonna pay $300 to go to your show. Those are fans who are just looking for music casually and trying to get something for free. That's it. That's it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing for them. Good. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, in business, there are different types of customers. There are customers who are premium customers who will spend $1,000 for your product. There are customers who are premium customers who don't have $1,000 to spend on your product, but they support you in other ways. Like, move over to whatever platform that you want to go to support you there. There are casual fans who will wait, literally wait until your music is free somewhere to listen to it. And that's fine too. We love them too. I'm not saying we don't love them. I'm saying there are different type of fans, and you shouldn't treat them all the same. For the fans who want to pay $100 for a hoodie, offer it to them and get their data. For the fans who want to casually listen to music and just listen to it for free, let them continue following you on social media, and then when it's free somewhere, post it up. Like, hey, this is available on YouTube now. Listen to it. They're gonna listen to it because that's what they want. They want to not spend money and support you. Fine. Listen, my music video is on YouTube. Go check it out. And they're gonna do it. So I'm not saying that the casual fans, you know, are a bad thing. I'm saying that for you to spend all your focus on just the casual fans and not on the true fans who want to support you monetarily, that's just bad for business. You know, you're there, you're there to make money. You're trying to make money. And I'm not saying that you are making music to make money, but at the end of the day, we live on planet Earth, and you need money to make a living. You need to make a living. You need to sustain yourself. You're an adult. You need clothes. You need food. You need shelter. That's not. It's not a demonic thing to want to be able to take care of yourself. And actually, that's love. That's love for you to want to take care of yourself. And he's saying that the fact that you want to take care of yourself and trying to fearmonger you and trying to put you down because you want to actually make money from your music. I mean, those let him have that mindset. But you rise up to the occasion. If your casual fans want to stay on Spotify, that's cool. Service them too if you want to. Offer your music before you put it on Spotify for monies and get their data, because every time I don't know if he markets. Every time you come out with a new single or album, you have to repeat the same process over and over again if you don't have a fan base, a data sheet saying who your fans are. But if I had that sheet, I know that 100 people bought my last album and I'm coming out with a new album. Guess who the first people who I'm going to talk to? The 100 people who already bought it. But if I don't have that list and random people are just casually listening to it on Spotify and I'm coming out with a new album, then every single album I have to market to the max because I have no clue on who bought my last album. And if that's the life you want to continue to live, then listen to him. But yes, artists are getting smarter. Artists are getting wiser. Artists are listening to music moguls like Brian Leslie and Nipsey Hussle and seeing that there are solutions to problems and we don't have to keep being slaves. And this guy is mad about it, calling it BS, calling it a micro fan if they want to go over to wherever you are to spend money. He calls it a micro fan, but calls fans to people who wants to casually listen to your music. No, there are different tiers of fans and we love our casual fans, right? But at the end of the day, they're, yes, they're going to be more casual fans of yours. Then they're going to be supporters who wants to spend $100 on you, 200, 500, million, not million, I'm sorry, 1,000. So and yes, we love them all the same, but we have to treat them differently. We have to have different offers for different types of fans. That's business. And you can't be afraid of having only one fan go over to another platform and build it from scratch. Because you have to build from scratch anyway. Well, who are your fans on Spotify? Name them. What are their names? What are their phone numbers? Call them. Text them. Go ahead, text a fan from Spotify. Text them right now. You can't. And then there's another platform like New Fans who you can. Hey, oh, I saw Amy just bought my album. Let me text her. Thank you for buying my album, Amy. Can you do that on Spotify? No. And does Spotify have the ability to give you your fans' data? Yes. Are they going to? No. So all this fear mongering is a waste of time.
They are not going anywhere. So it doesn't matter what new thing they try to market to you, like, oh, bands, this is the new digital streaming platform that's going to pay more than all of Spotify and Apple Music put.
This dude, he's like, it doesn't matter if there's new platforms that's actually going to pay you some money. Why would you want money when you can get a fraction of a penny from Spotify? Why would you want money when your fans are on Spotify? All 10 of them who might be allegedly bots.
Together. The only issue is you have 1,000 people total on this platform, and Spotify has 500 plus million.
Spotify didn't start off with 5 million people. They started off with 1 and then got to 1,000, then got to 2,000. Like, there's no magic here. It's hard work. That's it. He's like, there's a shortcut. If you want to stay a slave, remember, there's a shortcut because there's over 5 million people on this platform. And even if you're not making a single dime, hey, as long as you're on the platform and you're getting your music heard, that's all that matters. You're not making any money, but you're getting your music heard because there's 5 million people on the platform. Systematically, it doesn't make sense at all to keep trying to build a sustainable business making fractions of a penny.
The truth is, there's only one platform that you can use that a bunch of fans already have.
Look at him. He's like, the truth is, you have to stay a slave. Period. There's no other way. I know you want to be a entrepreneur on another platform. But the truth is that you actually have to do hard things. Why would you want to work hard when you could just continue to be a slave?
That if you can get them to join that, they actually have a direct pipeline to support you. It's called an email. Having an email.
This dude lost his mind. If Spotify gave the data and gave email addresses to every single person who listens to your music, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Honestly, I wouldn't even have made new fans. If artists were able to make money and get the fans' data from Spotify, I wouldn't have made new fans. I would have been singing Spotify to the mountaintops because I worked with artists and I was selling Spotify playlist services to artists and they weren't making money. But when I studied Ryan Leslie and Nipsey Hussle and I saw the holes in the game, I was just like, I even when the money was coming in, I stopped immediately selling anything that had to do with Spotify because I morally couldn't keep telling artists to go on Spotify and build a business. I couldn't. And he's like, "Oh, that's easy. Just just have an email account." You don't think they have an email account? The problem is that they're spending all their time and resources building up their Spotify account and they're not extracting any data.
Email list has been the most tried and true way to have fans collect in a particular place where you can drive them to support you and they actually do it. So don't have some kind of middleman software that's trying to do this work of like, well, we're going to get fans to directly support you.
Like I said, he's trying to make you feel fearful for putting yourself out there and being an entrepreneur. If Spotify wanted to today, they can give artists emails of every fan or listener who listen to their music. They're not doing that. What these platforms are offering is that data so that they can run a sustainable business. That is it. And he doesn't understand how data works. He thinks that just getting emails is the supreme solution and having Spotify still give them fractions of a penny is worth their time. If artists were happy about getting fractions of a penny and artists were happy about being on Spotify, then why would they flock to a new platform, as he said in the beginning? Why are artists doing that? Obviously, because they're unhappy about the services. And he's saying, artists, I see you're unhappy, but the real solution is staying in slavery.
Because the big issue is most fans aren't over on that platform. It's mostly just other artists who wish fans were on that platform. Don't fall for the hype and actually study the real marketing that gets.
The real marketing is rolling your sleeves up and getting to work. That's the real marketing. Because if it's time for you to extract fans from Spotify, because he's saying that his whole spiel is that there are 5 million fans on Spotify. And that's the reason why you need to stay on Spotify. But if you, as a non-slave, cannot walk away and go to even your website, not even a different platform, but your own website, and extract the fans that you've accumulated on Spotify to go to your brand, if you can't get at least one fan to do that, or as he calls it, a micro fan, then there is no point of being there. It's not sustainable because God forbid your album or your account gets taken down, they got you. You're done. You're finished. You're starting from scratch anyway. So instead of waiting until the day where the bot allegedly full playlist get your music taken down, you actually take extra steps to make sure that you have a sustainable business. And he's saying that's wrong. You should want to still try to be a slave. Yes, you're not making any money. Yes, you're unhappy. Yes, you don't have any real fans. But he's saying, look, Daddy Spotify, at least they look like they have fans or fans who can support you. That should be enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And it might be enough for some artists, but for the artist who wants to join new fans, it's not enough for us.
Real fans into your email list so you can monetize them directly.
That was painful. That was painful to watch. That video is only 3 minutes and I've been ranting for like an hour. That was so painful. How dare you? Oh my God. How dare you? I feel cringe. Like these people with this mindset saying, look, stick with slavery. That's what you need. I don't know, artists, if you made it to the end of the video and you feel as cringy as I do, don't wait. Join new fans. Join newfanspro.com. Make an account. You can start selling the NFC albums. You buy the NFC cards for 27 cents each. It comes already in this wrapper. And then you sell it to your fans directly for $10, $20, whatever price you want to set it. Then the money goes directly into your account. And when the fans buy it, they tap their phones and they get to listen to your music. With ours, they don't have to download their music on their phones to listen to it. They're streaming it. And you control access to this card. So let's say a fan bought this card and you want to do a waterfall strategy. So let's say they bought the single and you just want to keep putting singles on this card. So this card is in their home and you're just adding the singles from your computer in your living room. You can do that as well. So many options. Stop letting people make you be fearful of hard work. That's what entrepreneurship is. It's hard work. And once you get it started and build it from scratch, build that foundation, it's yours. And nobody could take it away from you, not even new fans. Why? Because you have the data. And that's what people who think like him is afraid of. They're afraid of you having the ability to not be a slave and to actually be a successful entrepreneur. Get to work.